Hello friends, welcome back to Matthew Arnold's Culture and Anarchy. Together we are discussing, yes. So today the topic that we are going to discuss is too much faith in missionaries and an enemy to culture. Because for the English people, you remember now the last class we did, the religion, culture coincides with religion. It's almost both the same, but one difference is that we saw is that culture, all the voices of human experience. But in religion we have mainly, the focus is on spiritual activity, spiritual life. So what happens here is that in culture you have, culture is an inward condition of the mind, isn't it? And it includes everything, but that is not so as the religion is concerned. But religion is a very important aspect of culture. Now today, what happens is that there are many enemies of this culture. One, see for example, faith in missionary. Missionary means sometimes you will think that it is sewing machine or say something for manufacturing. No, that also includes. But in England of the mid-Victorian period, that is when Matthew Arnold was writing this, missionary meant a call was considered as missionary. Population, too much freedom, railroads, wealth, all this. If you pursue these things as an end in themselves, then, or anything that you pursue as an end in themselves, end in itself, what happens is it is considered as a missionary. So if you put too much faith in missionary, then what will happen is that your spiritual side will not grow. That is the problem. So too much faith in missionary as if it had the value for its own sake or an end in itself. I tell you one thing, see, studying is good. It's a very nice exercise for your brain. Suppose if you studying you convert it as an end in itself, see that then it becomes, it's not culture, it is something else. Means a kind of sickness you can say. Bookworm we say, bookworm. So like this, population, freedom, coal, railroads, wealth, even religious organizations in England, they consider as missionary. Or what do you mean by missionary? That the people pursue or consider these things for its own sake, not a means but an end. That's the problem. That is the way you look at it. Mr. Roebuck, a great thinker, he says that when every Englishman may say what he likes, then he will get satisfaction. When every Englishman say what he likes, that means absolute freedom. If an Englishman has got absolute freedom to say anything and everything he would like to say, then he says it is satisfaction. But Matthew Arnold says no. You can say, but it should be worth saying and there should be some good in it. So he is qualifying that. Yes, it is freedom, it is good, and it is, you can say such a society is a cultural society, but not anything and everything. But what happens is that you should say, but that should be worth saying, and also must have some good in it. The Times newspaper, which has got the largest circulation, so it suggests that if everybody looks, the ideal for the Englishman is free to do anything and to look the way he likes to be presented. The Times says the English ideal is free to do anything. And also how you appear, how you should appear. That is up to you, not to, that means your habits, your dressing habits and so on. But then Matthew Arnold qualifies that, yes, agreed, but there should be something beautiful and graceful in it. See, suppose you are wearing your dress in an awkward manner, you cannot say you are a cultured person. You know how to wear dress in an awkward manner also, isn't it? So I need not explain that. And then he says, some people, 9 out of 10 Englishmen, they think that the greatness of England depends on the call. C-O-A-L, call. If call runs out, the greatness of English also will vanish. See that? But this again is considering or giving value to call. Call is, you can say, one form of wealth. So if you give wealth, if you worship wealth for the sake of wealth, or consider wealth for the sake of wealth or as an end in itself, then that cannot be considered as a greatness. Call is not the basis of the greatness of England. And Matthew Arnold compares, think of the last 20 years England, and think of the days of Queen Elizabeth. In history, which period will be marked as a cultured age? And without any doubt you can say it was the age of Elizabeth. Because there was art, revival of art and literature and Renaissance and so. In the last 20 years, Matthew Arnold says, when he compare, comparatively very little. Therefore he says, history will definitely say, the estimate of the history will be, the last 20 years you have plenty of coal, you have machinery, you have wealth, you have population, you have freedom, you can look as you like, you can present yourself as you like, say whatever you like. That is not the period in history marked as a period of culture. There is a period when human beings had that inward condition, the spiritual perfection, the urge for spiritual perfection, the activity in all fields of life. That means there was no call. Not comparatively, we say no missionary, comparative. Not as wealthy as today, but still history will say that those were the days, the golden age of British history. Why? Therefore we can understand that. Therefore we should conclude that. What should we conclude? Coal is not the basis of the greatness of England. Same with wealth, it says, greatness and welfare. Greatness and welfare. England will, people say again, 9 out of 10 will say it depends on wealth. Wealth and missionary. Wealth is a missionary in that way. Then in the sense that people are pursuing it for as an end in itself. Suppose you consider it like that. The future of England will belong not to cultured people but to Philistines. Philistines means those who pursue wealth for the sake of wealth. Understand? So culture will definitely beget dissatisfaction with wealth and possession. How much wealth can you accumulate? And how many possessions can you hold? Suppose you like BMW car, okay, and you have money to buy that. Suppose you buy hundreds of them, what do you use? You get tired of them, isn't it? As there is C.M. John and Lucy, there is, probably you may come across civilization defining. So there is a dialogue, a conversation between C.M. John and Lucy, a little girl. And then he is asking some questions. What do you consider? Is it having toffee? Or is it having dolls? Is it having toys? Can you say that that is civilization? At the end, the little girl also agrees with the C.M. John, who agrees with him, saying that no, these are not the basis of greatness or culture or civilization, but what is important is something that is everlasting, something that is eternal. So finally says, the place of Shakespeare is a sign of civilization, that way. So you can't, you simply cannot be satisfied with your possession. You can be a multi-millionaire, but still you need not be a satisfied person. Still you need not have developed that inward spiritual condition that we call the spiritual perfection, that is culture. So therefore he says, when culture, a person who has got this inward spiritual condition will definitely get dissatisfied with these possessions and wealth. So that means culture has got a purging effect, a purifying effect. Culture will save you from a vulgarized man. Vulgarized man. Culture will save you. It has purifying effect, and so it will save you from a vulgarized attitude towards life. And then when we say, there are some people who say population, bodily health and vigour, exercising, a healthy society, healthy members of the society, etc. That is a sign of culture and a greatness of England. And says, it's okay, we agree with that, but it will be an unintelligent way of looking and also in an exaggerated and misleading way if you treat these things as an end in themselves. In England, what happens is this: bodily health is good, vigour is good, then population is good, of course, family with 10 members, etc. is good. Because it is the nation's wealth, population is the nation's wealth. It is now that people are thinking that nations are overpopulated and there should be population control and so on, but not those days. So it is wealth. When you have got 6 daughters and 6 sons in a family, it is a wealth. See that? Human resource, if you look at that. But now of course, that is the policy of the governments have changed. Now that's a different thing. But he says, if you give exaggerated value to this, treating this in an unintelligent way, in an exaggerated way, in a misleading way, then that means treating them as end in themselves, then you cannot say that is an aspect of culture. Health and vigour is good, it has got value, and it is connected with the perfection and perfect spiritual condition. Because if you don't have health, how can there be any spirituality? How can you develop any spirituality in you? If you don't have good health, how can you do good deeds? As we have seen the other day, good deeds, very important. Love of your neighbor, helping others, going out, walking with others an extra mile, like the Good Samaritan, etc. So it's good, but you must have. But the point is, you should not value these things or consider these things as machinery. That is, don't treat them as an end in themselves. Of course, these things should be kept subordinate to your spiritual condition of your mind. Spiritual condition, inward condition. So, you cannot say that, today I am going for exercise and all the time you will be doing that. So that will be what will happen is you will kill yourself, isn't it? It is just like almost on the verge of ending your life. So if you can take 10 push-ups, suppose your body can only, that must tolerate only 10 push-ups. Suppose you take 100 push-ups, so many examples I know. My friends, sometimes they go after when they get the diabetes and pressure and so on, they go to doctor. When the doctor will say you go and exercise, you do this for 10 times, 15 times, walk for 2 miles, 6 miles, 6 kilometers and so on. What will they do? So doctor has said 6 kilometers. Okay, I will walk 10 kilometers so that my diabetes will vanish into thin air. Or my pressure will disappear. No, that thing will happen. That's the thing. So you cannot take things to the extremes. Here comes again Aristotle's golden mean. What is that? Virtu stat in media. We have discussed this threadbare, so there's no point in myself again explaining this. So, the golden mean is that, so there should be no fuss about this. Don't make a fuss about exercise, eating, drinking, walking, and riding, and also vigorous exercises and so on. And plus, don't make a fuss about wealth. Wealth is required. Otherwise, you will become beggar. So, wealth. Don't make a fuss about possessions. Don't make a fuss about your call-based greatness of England does not depend upon call. Understand? So remember always the golden mean. So our aim should aim at the inward condition, cultivate this inward condition. So formation of the spirit and character. The formation of spirit, anything that helps or that supports the formation of your spirit, inward condition of your mind and also your character, your behavior, then what will happen is that is culture. So all your activities fail. Wealth is good, population is good, exercise is good, vigor is good, railroads are good, coal good, wealth good, possession is good, everything. But this should be subordinate to a culture. Otherwise what will happen is that your mind will be vulgarized. So that, and you will never find any satisfaction in anything. You should aim at that. And then he says in this connection, he says, look at the Greek word for culture. The Greek word for culture means a finely tempered nature. A finely tempered nature. This is the Greek word for culture. And the exact Greek words, Matthew Arnold spells with English letters Evfyvia. Evfyvia. This is how it is written in English. We can read it like this: Evfyvia. That's a Greek word. Evfyvia. So what is the Evfyvia means? A finely tempered nature. That is a nature that obeys the advice, you can say, or the directions or the guidance given by the golden rule of Aristotle. Golden rule given by Aristotle. That is golden mean. Don't take anything to the extreme. Then what will happen is that with all your greatness of coal, your industry, your steel, your family, your population, your exercise, your railroads, your wealth, your vigor, then your possessions, your attitude to machinery, whatever it is, wealth. If they are subordinate to Evfyvia, that is Greek word, meaning a finely tempered nature, that is in English culture, one word culture, or an inward spiritual condition of the mind, or a spiritual perfection. In that case, everything is good. You cannot say, as God created the world and then He looked around and said that everything is fine. Every day He would create something. After the end of the creation, after the end of the day, He will say, this we find them good. So it's good. Never said after creating bad. We create we change, or our attitudes change these things, these good things bad. So here also, when I said too much faith in machinery is an enemy of culture, that means I don't say that you should not have coal, you should not have wealth, you should not have steel, you should not have railroads, no, not such thing. Not only myself, but this I am explaining the concept of Matthew Arnold. So Matthew Arnold doesn't say. What he says is that, look at this word, Evfyvia. So everything should be directed to Evfyvia. Evfyvia means a finely tempered nature. So this is how the Greeks looked at culture. I hope you understand. So now yesterday we saw, this is the 5th lecture. So we have been now going through this. Finally what happens? What is Evfyvia? It is the unity of sweetness and light. Evfyvia. So that is the unity of sweetness. That means love. And sweetness and light means reason. If you allow reason to rule you, none of these things will have any grip on you. The thing is, whatever we have listed is perfectly alright, provided you should not consider them as end in themselves. Otherwise, you can use these things, subordinate these things to culture or Evfyvia, finely tempered nature, or where there is a unity of sweetness and light. I hope you have been following. And now we will proceed like this. As we know, there are 6 chapters. We haven't come even halfway through, because this is the chapter 1, and halfway through chapter 1 we have come. That's okay. I think you are enjoying, and I told you, this lessons we are doing not only for your examinations purpose, but life is important. For our life, it's because it is spiritual. And you know what Saint Paul has said about exercise. Bodily exercise profiteth little. See, when he said, I told you, exercise and vigor exercise is important. But Saint Paul says, bodily exercise profiteth little, but godliness is profitable unto all things. So godliness is, again we can say, another word you can substitute for your culture, godliness. So the God in you, love your neighbor as thyself, compassion, celebrate your life by sharing your wealth. Sharing. It's a great experience. Try that, you will get the result then and there. Do not wait for another day. Within 24 hours you will get the result. There's nothing so powerful and great as sharing, thus celebrating your life. Only a person who has this Evfyvia, or unity of sweetness and light, or godliness in you, or inward spiritual condition, or spiritual perfection, can do that. So what we have to do is we have to cultivate this. Hope that you will be cultivating you will be giving a formation to such a mind in your body. Then what will happen? It becomes, as the bishop in the bishop's candlesticks tells the thief, your body is the temple of God. So, bye. Have a nice day. Enjoy your life. Enjoy your life.